Joining me now for more is Liz Peek, columnist for The Hill and Fox News contributor, who just wrote a column about Elon Musk, who we were saying before we came on, he really is the worst nightmare for liberals because he's anti-woke, but he's also a green energy superstar. So it makes him a little tougher to knock down.
To categorize, for sure. They loved him for EVs until all of a sudden he turns out to be a free speech advocate. Then they hate him. Look, we don't know what Elon Musk wants to do. And I have to say, the thing I love best about him is he's completely unpredictable. And he's also outside the mold, right? He's not conventional. He's not a conventional thinker. Honestly, even if he took over Twitter, David, it was really not clear what he wanted to do with that platform. What I think is he wants a big voice. He has 81 million followers. That's not big enough. I think he wants to change their model.
That's pretty big.
It's very big, and he has used that very effectively.
Right.
But he's made no bones about the fact that he does not think that this platform or social media in general is supporting free speech. And I think he's 100% right. Free speech is essential to our country, and we saw that with the 2020 election, the suppression of the Hunter Biden.
Horrible.
Exactly. Laptop story and subsequent reporting on it, which never goes to Joe Biden, which, by the way, should happen, right? So I think
it wasn't just suppression, by the way. It was pure censorship. I mean, they just tried to wipe it out, and they succeeded. It didn't come out until after the election was long over. But I would argue only one point slightly with you, which is that we do know, I think, enough about him from his tweets and from what he said to understand that he really does have libertarian ideals. I mean, he really pushes those libertarian views, and that alone is enough to kill his reputation among the woke crowd.
Yeah, he's anti-authority.
Yeah,
let's face that.
Exactly.
And right now, that astoundingly, that for the individual, because after all, he has come to this country and created 2, maybe 3 extraordinary companies. I mean, he is a brilliant man, incredibly accomplished, and they cannot take that away from him. If you go on Twitter now, there's so many people attacking him as a capitalist, and he's not feeding. There was someone who tweeted me and said he's not feeding millions of starving Americans. And I went back and said, first of all, they're not millions of starving Americans. Secondly, that's not his job. He's not president of the United States, nor does he. I mean, it's ridiculous. Everyone has sort of put this guy out there as sort of someone who's supposed to cure everything. And
by the way, nor is it the job of the SEC to attack somebody for their political views. And there are suggestions, there are questions about whether, if he does fight for control of Twitter, whether the SEC is going to go after him, because a lot of Democrats are going after him because they don't like his political views. I mean, Twitter as a private company has the right to keep anybody off that they want to keep off of their platform. You can argue with it philosophically, but technically speaking, they have the right to do that as a private company. But you can't, a government agency cannot be used as a regulator of people whose views they don't like. So if that happens, if he's attacked by the SEC, not for something that he's done wrong, but for the fact that he has political views they don't like, that's against the First Amendment.
David, I think it's happening every day. I think that federal agencies, whether it's the EPA or the SEC or the Consumer Financial Protection Board, or you name it, they are going after causes and people and companies that they don't like. So guess what? That's called the deep state. I mean, there is some reality to the fact that these agencies are mainly manned by people, by people with liberal inclinations, and I'm sure they hate Elon Musk. Unfortunately, he has also given them cause to be critical. He has broken agreements. He's tweeted stuff that absolutely should not have been tweeted.
He's a bit of a wild guy. He's a wild guy.
He's unrulable.
But I want to end on a positive note because, as Larry says, the cavalry is coming, and they are indeed. But Democrats are just not learning. I mean, they are pushing this woke agenda. They didn't learn from Virginia. Now New Jersey has this new policy where kids in second grade are going to be subjected to the same kind of woke sex education that Governor DeSantis subjected to down in Florida.
Do you know that over half of Democrats in Florida agree with Ron DeSantis' bill? I'm not talking about 52% of Floridians. I mean, that's pretty astonishing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they got it. Democrats right now are doing almost everything possible to lose big in November. Let's end on the positive note that they are actually going to lose big in November, because I think there's no turning this ship around. I don't think they know how to. There seems to be no inclination whatsoever to actually do what people and voters Westerners want. It's an extraordinary thing.
It's an amazing time.
Yes, it
Liz
really
Peek,
is.
thank you very much. Good to see you.
Nice
Thanks
to
for
see
being
you.
here.